This time I do a video about the new Gibson 70's custom, price £3,499, that's around $4,600, and an original Norlin 79 Standard. Both guitars have the bigger headstock, 14-degree angle volute, and the thin 0826 neck, and the 1682 3475 Gibson scale, T-Typ humbuckers, mahogany body, maple top, maple neck, made of tree timber 1, 2, 3. The good thing is the bigger headstock is good for the bass strings. You see the E6 and the A doesn't touch each other. If you look 59 Les Paul, you can see the E and the A string, they touch. So in fact the 50s Les Paul have a lack with the smaller headstock. If you put thicker wires, strings on the guitar, they touch each other. What's not happened with the bigger headstock on the new one and on the original one. So the bigger headstock is, in my opinion, much better than the 50s headstock. I was really curious to find out how the new Gibson 70's custom, how close is it to the original, because when you go online you see bows, neck is not comfortable, it's the best Les Paul for years, and but they're mostly guitar stores, they try to sell their guitars, and so I was curious and I wanted to have one to find out. And first I wanted to make a comparison with my 76 custom Norlin. You can watch my video, it's a 5-year-old video. It's a Gibson 70's vintage Norlin years by Ron Wall. And then I thought, no, because the custom in collector's condition costs meanwhile between $7,000 and $15,000. When I made the video 5 years ago, this custom were between $4,000 and $9,000. So the price has nearly doubled in 5-6 years, because there are really a high demand now in collectors for good customs. You can find a custom under $5,000, but then it's a worn out guitar, then the neck is naked, the varnish is gone, the die is gone, maybe it's a fixed neck brake, refretted, the pickups are changed, the machine heads are worn out or changed, or the bridge or the stop bar. What you don't have to care is about the hard case, the knobs and the strings, because this, like in a car, you have to change the tires from time to time or the brakes, so the rest is good. And then people are looking for this chainsaw, it's called, but originally through the 70's you could buy 3 cases, because when you bought the Gibson guitar the case never came with it. In the 50s, 60s, 70's you had to buy the case separately, and the case in the 70's you had 3 different cases to buy. The best one was the faultless, the 535, and in some years they were just black. In some years they had a silver stamp on it, Gibson, then a gilded stamp Gibson on it, different colors inside. Then the second, the mid-priced was the Protector, called the Protector. That's what we call the chainsaw, this plastic hard case, the most sought after now. And then the third is the oblong, that's like a square, like a Fender hard case a bit. So you had the chance to buy three, the cheap one, the oblong, the mid-range and the top-end range. So often people bought a Gibson and maybe 3, 5, 8 years later they bought the hard case. So the hard case isn't the biggest issue for a Norlin guitar. And then I thought, when now the custom costs around $10,000 and that one costs $4,000 in the UK, 3,499 pounds, that means $4,600. So what can I do? What looks the same if you want to spend up to $4,000 or £4,500? And then I found on Denmark Street, that's the best address in Europe for vintage guitars. Denmark Street, Clapton buys his guitars there. 2 or 3 years ago they sold the Jimi Hendrix Black Strat. So there are fewer stores now at Denmark Street than it used to be a couple of years, but now it's the online stores. So at Denmark Street, this is a showroom, standard, late 79. The pickups are February 1980. So that this is a real Norlin 3-piece neck, maple top, mahogany body, bigger headstock, volute, all original. That's a Gibson would call it a VOS, vintage original specs. Price 3,495. And then in pounds. And then the new Gibson 70's custom. The only difference to that one is the gilded humbuckers, the diamond inlay. Both have the bigger headstock, but both have the volute. Both have an 0828, that one, 0826, that one. Gibson's indicates that the nut is 17, but that one has a 1688. That one has a 1682. Both guitars are heavy, beautiful heavy. That one is a 10-pound too. That's 4.6, around 4.6 kilos. That one is a 10-pound 8. That's over 4.9 kilos, close to 5 kilos. You don't have to go to the gym. You work with those guitars. Both have the T-Typ humbuckers. The T-Typ humbuckers, the difference between the PAF is the PAF are Alnico 3. So they have a wide range, beautiful dark full sound. That's for blues players or the 60s pop bands. That was just the heaven. Then in the 70s, when the bands became louder, the PA became louder and the drummers were louder, the keyboarder, the bass player, so they needed a sharper sound. So in the 70s they changed from the PAF to the T-Typ. They're instead of the enamel, pure enamel, they took polyurethane wiring, and then the magnets, they are on a humbucker. The screws are not magnetized like on a Fender single coil. They have a little plate under the 2 single coils, because a humbuckers is just 2 single coils together. Then they turn one that it stops humming, and there's a little plate. And the Alnico 5 is a bit, let's say the Alnico 3 is like having a family Christmas party, beautiful, cozy, the chimney's burning, it's beautiful, everybody's happy. That doesn't mean they have arguments. And the Alnico 5 is a bit like a Halloween party. It's a bit dirty, the distortion, it's a bit louder and crispier, the Alnico 5, but it doesn't have that beautiful cozy feeling of an Alnico 3. So in the 70s, when these big bands came, it was just fine to have the Alnico 5. I absolutely love the Alnico 5. That doesn't mean you can't play a beautiful blues with a Norlin, but it's really, if you play loud and distortion, then the Alnico 5, it's a bit funnier to play than the PAF. I mean, anyway, with your amplifier and the foot switch, the stomp box, you can make it the sound you want. So let's start and go through if it's worth to buy the new one or is the original Norlin ahead. We're talking of the same price. Okay, both guitars are great. Very fast player because of the thin neck, but the thin neck isn't like in the early 2000s, this D shape. There is no board, it's very, very comfortable. Both necks are really comfortable, rounded. A modern C shape they call it now, but it's from the 70s. It's beautiful, comfortable neck, nice, heavy, as it should be. Both are really fast players because of the neck and, I don't know, medium jumbo, it's a regular fret. So the T-Typ, I mean, there is no T-Typ humbuckers. That's just a mark for on the bobbins for the wire when they wire the humbucker. And both guitars sounds great. For me, the original sounds a bit fuller, a bit more aggressive, but the new T-Types are great. Alnico 5 instead of Alnico 3, the PAF. Poly windings instead of pure enamel. That's the difference from the PAF to the T-Types. Both guitars are absolutely great. The problem now is a bit, I just checked it out, the two biggest retailers in the UK, the black ones are nearly sold out. They still have two black ones, one retailer, the other one 3. They have plenty of the sunburst and plenty of the red, but the tuxedo, the white one, white front, black back and sides is nearly gone, and the black ones you have to hurry if you want one. The original is a bit more comfortable. It feels a bit more easier to play, and for me it sounds a bit warmer, closer. It's more fun. It's a bit more fun to play the original for the same price. So if I would have to decide, I would go with the Norlin for sure, but the 60s custom is £1,000 higher priced than the standard 60s, 50s. Great guitar, the 50s and 60s Les Paul, but is it worth to spend that extra money? Yes, yes. Great guitar. If you have that, you will be happy. Great guitar, a fast player, very, very comfortable neck. Great sound, a bit less bluesy, but a bit more dirty. Great guitar, but for me, the original, it's the real deal. Thank you. Have a lovely time, lovely Christmas. Hope to see you soon. Bye.